Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard that tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Of course, this had to happen in my favorite place in the country, Philadelphia. Someone in Philly wanted to call the city's attention to a long-neglected pothole, so they spray-painted a large penis next to it.
You know what's funny is this is not the first time. I was reading a story that happened in like 2015 where a Manchester man did something like this, and then if you just kind of do a Google search and type in penis pothole, it sounds like a great band.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's my side project. There are so many penis potholes out there.
So a lot of people thought this is a great idea. I think it's this is one way to get rid of it.
Some are a little too graphic, I think.
Oh, well, what are you going to do? Yeah, so a city worker covered up the graffiti yesterday and promised the hole would be taken care of. How dumb is this? So they sent somebody out to cover up the graffiti and they didn't fix the pothole.
Just fix the pothole and then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
This is what's wrong with this country. It's like, really? The penis is the problem as opposed to the pothole wrecking everybody's car.
I've heard other people actually literally planting trees or putting potted trees inside the potholes.
That's funny, too.
Because then at that point, at least they have to at least move the tree, I guess.
Wow. Here are some of the neighborhood residents talking about what they saw.
So you can make out what that is right there, right?
Yeah, it's hard to miss.
I feel like it's ridiculous. It's horrible. I mean, I understand, that we need the streets need to be fixed, but this right here don't make no sense.
I think it's ridiculous that the city, it's the only time you get them to respond.
I love that the key word is ridiculous.
Yeah, or the way she said it. She said ridiculous, and actually...
Did she say ridiculous?
She did. Yeah, she did.
I love her.
So I think it was intentional. She said ridiculous for that reason.
I got reported like, do you know what this is in some typical Philadelphia fashion? The city of brotherly love. Yeah, it's a D.
Yeah, it's a D. That's what it is. Yeah, you can check out the video on the BJ and Migs page of KISW.com. I don't understand that. I don't understand how they could send somebody else to basically cover up the D, but not fix the pothole.
Oh, man, I need to do this in Tacoma, right?
Yeah,
right around my place, there's a bunch of... places where they're saying, oh, we'll work on these, or we have signs up that saying eventually we'll do this, but I bet this will fast forward it.
It should be Dong Man.
Dong Man!
You need a costume.
Yes.
Do I?
I believe there are costumes where like you could look like a dong.
Oh, perfect. Well, there you go.
Or you can just spray paint one on your shirt. It's cool.
I like what one person did with their pothole problem. They filled it with ice and then put some beers in it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
That's perfect for the summer.
That surely is. Yeah, I mean, look, I am surprised that we have to wait so long to get this stuff done. And, when you live in any winter area like Philadelphia, you're going to get potholes. It just happens. And you'd think that would be like the primary thing. They'd always said, like, they'd be ready to fix those.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that they could send somebody out, though, just to cover up the D and not fix the pothole, that's just, yeah.
It's like, didn't we recently talk about a kid, I think he was from Michigan, he was like 12 years old filling up potholes himself.
Yeah.
Because the city wasn't.
Somebody says this 100% works. I've done it in Tacoma, the penis pothole, and it took less than 2 weeks to get the holes filled.
Nice!
All right, Rev, you know what to do.
Rev,
all right.
You could have a little sidekick, like Batman and Robin. It could be Dong Man and...
Ball Boy?
Dingle Boy.
Dong Man and Ball Boy.
And Ball Boy. Yeah.
Okay, I love it. Okay.
I'm in.
Pothole Crusaders.
Do it.
I love this. Hey, can we, oh, here it is. Dong Man and Ball Boy. Dong Man and Ball Boy. Dong Man. Fill your holes. Dong Man. Fill those holes.
Wow.
Dong Man. Dong Man. Dong Man. Dong Man. And Ball Boy. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our show. Thank you for listening.
Hey, Steve, what'd you do today on your show? Well,
We created 2 new superheroes.
Okay,
It is a great day.
they could be new Avengers, man.
Yay!
Get on it, Disney. Yeah, we're going to need them.
can we have a moment of silence
What happened?
for Danny? Since you
Okay.
spoke, since you spoke of the Avengers.
Now.
Yeah.
What happened?
His favorite movie.
Oh, this is going to be a Blink-182 conversation.
I thought someone threw away his makeup.
Yeah, I'll leave that for Danny and his, hey, I wrote a thing about Blink-182. Please read it.
Oh, that's the most fun I had yesterday as opposed to watching television, was reading that thread.
Oh, yeah?
We'll talk about that another time.
Oh, yeah?
What are you sad about?
I'm sad about, I'm not sad. I think Danny's going to be sad because it turns out Avengers Endgame actually now is in front of Titanic for making more money than any movie's made.
Oh, man.
Even director James Cameron, he had to congratulate Avengers Endgame as they topped Titanic's box office record to become the second highest grossing movie of all time. That's right.
It's still number one in my heart, BJ. That's all that matters.
And your heart will go on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, 22 years ago, Titanic was kicking ass. I can't believe it's been that long with Titanic.
Yeah.
Wow. Endgame is
Well,
made...
Danny watches it like once a week.
Yeah.
So that helps.
Yeah. Endgame has now made $2.227 billion worldwide and is making rapid ground on Cameron's Avatar, the highest grossing movie ever, at $2.78 billion globally. So Cameron is going to have to give another congratulations if it passes that, because Cameron owned the top two spots.
Yeah.
But it turns out, looks like Marvel knows how to make a pretty epic movie now.
Well, then maybe he needs to actually legitimately make Aquaman like he did in Entourage.
Yeah, somebody beat him to it.
Well, he could do it
Aquaman
again.
2?
He could get Vincent Chase.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, no one likes that Jason Momoa guy.
No, he was all right.
Yeah.
I mean, he did okay.
Yeah. So here's what he wrote. James Cameron wrote, to Kevin and everybody at Marvel, an iceberg sank the real Titanic. It took the Avengers to sink my Titanic.
And it's funny, I look at the picture, and instead of an iceberg, it's the Avengers logo, and the Titanic is sinking.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's a classy thing to do. You know, I mean...
Oh, yeah. I mean, what is congratulations on making a lot more money than the movie I made that's made me a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to have a hard time sleeping tonight with the millions of dollars I have in my bank account.
Yeah. Well,
so, did you see Avengers again? Because I remember you said you were going to go see it again.
yeah, that's right. Joey Dees and I saw it yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So?
And, do you want Joey Dees' opinion? Because he's the one that really didn't think it was that. I said that I thought it was an 8 out of 10 the first time I saw it.
I want your opinion first, though.
Yeah, I liked it better the second time because I was able to absorb a lot more. And it's a good, it really is a good movie. I will own it.
Has it gone up to a 9 now?
I think I would put it in an 8.5.
Okay, so you need to see it again to get it to a 9.
No, I watched for some scenes that I thought this one I would take out, and it would make it a 9 to a 10 if they took out some of the scenes that
So there are scenes that you really do think...
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single part of that film that needed to be removed. I thought it was perfect the way it was. The pacing was great.
Yeah, you and the editor agree.
Well, and the Rev.
Yeah, I'm in the minority on it, no doubt about it. But I mean, I definitely liked it better, and so that I think it's good seeing a movie a second time around when it has as much going on as the Avengers do. I also got to see the scene that I missed when I went to the bathroom because I went to the bathroom at a different time.
So you had to go potty still.
It's 3 hours, dude. Come on,
It's 3 hours. My response to that is also, it's 3 hours. Come on, you can't hold it.
I'm not.
My wife has a smaller bladder than you, I think. She held it for 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm on medicine that makes me pee a lot. You guys that don't have this don't understand because
Viagra makes you pee?
Not Viagra. That makes me take a Yeah. I mean, so it's not like I can't hold it. It's like this medicine says you're not supposed to hold it.
Got you.
Yeah. So I mean, 3 hours is a long time. So, but I at least went at a different time that I knew would be cool to go, and then I got to see the other scene, which was good because it was cool seeing that other scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you've seen the whole movie.
I've seen the whole movie now. I can say I definitely have seen it, and I give it an 8.5. But Joey Dees, he's the one that really is the tough sell.
What was your original rating on it, by the way?
I gave it a 7-ish. So
Okay.
it's 7.5. Now it's up to about an 8.5, closer to 9.
Wow. So now you jumped even more than your pops.
Yeah, oddly enough, after knowing what happened, I enjoyed the whole movie more.
So now you like the first hour?
Yeah, I like the first hour more. I think it could have been maybe like 15 minutes shorter, but I still like it. I think Rev kind of pointed out, I wasn't expecting anything this time because I already knew what was happening, so I just enjoyed the ride more as opposed to wanting it to be different the first time.
So you weren't overthinking it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just living in it.
Yeah, and I got to love it again, which was
Yeah.
awesome because I didn't want to not like the movie. Obviously, I love that whole series, but I think I still like the first one, Infinity War, a little bit more. But I have no problems with this movie anymore.
Nice. I'm happy you guys went.
There's definitely a generation gap that's happening for me, though.
What happened?
The generation gap is a thing called fan service. As a person that's older and used to watching movies way back in the day, they never did movies to please me. They did movies to make a good movie. Now I'm seeing in movies, it doesn't matter. Plot be damned, logic be damned. They're going to do stuff just to please the fans, even though it makes no sense. And I would say the end of the movie completely makes no sense when they describe to us what was going on in the movie, but it was completely fan service. The end of the movie where we see a guy, and a guy is basically hanging out, and he gives something to another guy.
There's when Thor made out with the Hulk.
Yeah.
That should not have happened based on what they explained during the entire movie.
But I was very aroused, so I'm glad they did that.
I know, it's called fan service.
Yes.
I had the weirdest boner.
Me too.
And Vicky's generation, millennials are like, I want you to do what I like, even if it doesn't make sense, because I just want it.
I think
and that's what they're doing.
End of the day, we're just trying to have a good time. Okay, if it doesn't make sense, at the end of the day, it's a movie about superheroes and
you
aliens.
realize it's fake.
See, that's a whole different thing. When I go to a movie,
I'm not trying to think. I'm just trying to have a good time.
it's not about thinking. It's just they made movies in my day that made sense, even in their own
they
weird
were
way.
slower and boring.
There's plenty of movies back in your day that made no sense.
I mean, the good ones. This is considered a good one. The movies that are good.
But I'm sure if I can't give you an example, of course, because I haven't done any research since you just brought it up.
Well, you take a great movie that you would call a great movie. Most of them in my day made sense without fan service.
Like?
Okay, let's look at Rocky.
Yeah.
Nobody boxes like that in real life.
I don't think.
But you know what? The movie did it the way that they did it because it's a movie, and they had to go a little over the top in how this boxing match is because nobody has those kind of boxing matches.
And I think in most movies, when you see two people hold two guns and firing them at the same time, it's pretty much impossible. Like if you ask any, those kinds of things.
Here's my point: when the movie says the sky is blue, and then at the end of the movie they go and show you a green sky and expect you to be like, okay,
that's why you nerds can't have nice things.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing: I am not saying it's good or bad. I'm saying it's a generation gap thing. I think my generation
is better than everyone else.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying not used to a thing called fan service. Fan service is a real thing that's happening.
You say that like it's a bad thing, though.
You're it's a bad thing.
You're trying to nitpick a movie about intergalactic combat with giant green men and Norse gods. You understand this, right?
I understand it's fantasy, but I'm just saying that in my day, they would take a thing and keep it the same way from the movie. They wouldn't change their own logic just to suit the fans.
So it says, The Wizard of Oz made tons of sense, BJ.
Yeah, so did Planet of the Apes. I think what he's trying to say is that there are no bad endings anymore, if that makes sense. Like, if a character is loved, they don't get a bad ending.
What are you talking about? There's a bad ending in this movie. Without giving a spoiler away, but there's a part of that movie made people cry, not cry tears of happiness.
But they don't become like a bad guy, if that makes sense. Like, you don't end up hating one of the characters you used to love. If that, I think that's what you're
But based on BJ's thing, I don't think anyone walked away hating that character because of how they did what they did.
No, but you might hate it because of the storyline, though, is what he's saying. As opposed to just liking, overall.
And I'm nitpicking, but that character I don't think would ever do what they had him do in that movie. That's the other thing. It goes against who that character is as well.
We do crazy things for the poon, guys. Come on.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's what bothered me about it is the character went against who they are, and it also went against their entire logic of the movie. What they said it shouldn't have happened based on what they say in the movie. That's all I'm saying. And I think they did it because everybody wanted that scene. Everybody wanted to see that character with another character. And Vicky will tell you that was total fan service. Where I looked at it like, I get that it's cool that he got to do that, but that's not what he would do. And it also goes against what they told us the whole premise of the movie was about. It was like, you told us that, no, this doesn't work. And then you said, oh, by the way, it does work after all. It's like, what?
But is anyone really pining for that? Was that like a big deal? Was it like the moment like where everyone wanted Ross and Rachel to get together? Is that
exactly? A lot of people wanted that.
It was really awesome, but I feel like a lot of people have accepted that wasn't going to happen. So the fact that we got it was like a nice little treat.
Because everybody
when that
wanted
happened,
that.
I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, you don't care.
I
didn't care about that. Yeah.
A lot of people have talked about those two for a long time. It's been. You can't deny that, Rev. A lot of people have wished that those two could get together.
I mean, but there was still moments where, in a different movie, I think it was Civil War, he was hooking up with somebody else.
Yeah, but it doesn't negate that fan service is a real thing. Are you going to tell me that fan service is not a real thing and stuff? Like
I've never even heard this term, fan service. I think it's stupid.
He heard it last week, and so he's using it all the time.
That makes sense.
I'm aware of that, Rev. Come on, don't belittle what I'm saying. You've heard of it. It's relatively a new thing.
Is,
I think any movie want to make their fans happy from the day movies ever existed. I don't understand how all of a sudden this is a new thing. Every movie
It started with a game called Mass Effect, Steve, where people got so upset they didn't like the ending of a game that they actually berated the game company so that they actually made a new ending for the game for these people. And that's when I started noticing that, oh my gosh, fan service is a thing. Where my generation, we would never think that we had the power to make them change a Star Trek episode or a Star Trek movie. As much as we hated it, we never thought we would be able to get them to service us like that.
I'm just saying it's different service.
Now. It's different with millennials where they actually get to do this thing called fan service. You may not know it, Steve, but it is a thing.
I think you're jealous.
I don't understand how it's a thing as opposed to what, I mean, this has been happening since every movie ends mostly on a high note, a lot of movies.
But I'm saying that
they want to make their fans happy. Like I was a Rocky fan. Look, at the end of the day, do I really think Rocky could beat a steroided up Russian like he did in Rocky IV? No, but it's a movie, so we suspend reality. It makes us all happy as a fan of the film.
But you never wrote in and complained about an ending and had it be changed.
But the times have changed. That's just how things are now. I mean, there's
Twitter. That's what I'm saying.
But I don't think directors back in the day were putting out movies that didn't care about what their fans thought. I think they still did care, especially if it was a franchised film. I think they wanted to make it a point to, okay, we want to make sure that our fans leave happy. It's like that in any type of entertainment.
Yeah, but I don't think that they would actually take the feedback to the point that they do now.
Didn't they do that with Star Wars with the whole Han shot first? They changed it to make it show that he shot first.
And the people actually were pissed about that.
Well, people were pissed that George Lucas they were both pissed.
You're proving my point. George Lucas made changes to that movie that the fans didn't want. They hated those. They hated the new
fans
movie.
That did want that?
No. Nobody wanted that. Nobody ever said let Han or the other guy shoot first or whatever. We never asked for that. I don't remember asking for that. And people hated it when it came out.
And they hated. This is why nerds again. We can't have nice things.
Wait. Whenever I make a point, Vicky, this is what you say or you guys say. I'm done talking about it. Fan service is a thing. It is a thing. I'm just saying it's a generation gap for me. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying for me it's hard because I never had that concept in my life watching movies. It's now a new concept that I look at and go.
I think it was a thing. But it was done differently back then because they didn't have social media. They didn't have direct access to the studios like we have now.
So that my voice never affected a movie the way it does today. That's all. Like my fan voice, I may have complained, I may have written. It definitely has an effect today more so than the other directors would say, F you if you don't like it, kid. Because that's what Lucas used to say. Mm-hmm. He was like, F you if you don't like it, kids. I'm going to do what I want. Including episodes 1, 2, and 3. People bitched like hell. And he goes, I do these for 5-year-olds. I don't care about the rest of you. Nowadays, it's different. They will go, all right, I'm sorry. What do you want? I mean, that's a different thing that I'm not used to. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's tough for me.
You are complaining about it as if it's a bad thing. You did say, I don't like this fan service stuff because that scene in that movie happened because of fan service.
And I started by saying...
I hope I never say the word fan service again.
I'm just saying it's a generation gap that I've got to get used to.
But you complain about it.
Yeah. Well, I can complain about it, the discomfort of it for me.
I understand that, but you just said, I'm not saying it's bad, but you are complaining about it because you do think it's bad.
I'm complaining about it because it's discomforting. I don't know if it's bad. It may actually be good, but it's still discomforting for me. And you guys just are taking it personally.
I'm not taking anything personal. I just like making fun of all of you nerds.
Well, that you're doing. All right. Well...
Yeah, if anyone's taking it personal, it's you there, BJ.
Wait, I'm just saying something. I got jumped all over. You sure they're not taking it personally? Seriously, is it just me? I just said, look, I had discomfort with something that's different than what I'm used to experiencing. I didn't say it was bad, but then all of a sudden somebody jumped on me and said...
You went down the road of back when it was almost like you had a disdain for this generation because they have a voice.
I just said it was a generation gap thing, and I was discomforted, and then you guys took it the way you took it and started coming on me, when in reality, it's a thing. Whether or not it's good or bad, that's up to the world to decide, and I get it. I'm going to be the one in the minority on this because that's what happens with generational stuff. The old people go, look, you got to get used to it because the young people are not going to change for me. They're going to do what they like to do, which they like this.
Anyone else hungry? Can we talk about food?
All right. Well, you know what? I'm sorry I brought it up.
I like this text. Hey, Steve, I'm a fan of yours. Want to service me?
There we go. All right. Well, let's go. We'll just talk about this man that was arrested for a bumper sticker on his car, and I'm going to tell you why at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. There's a 23-year-old guy in Florida. His name is Dylan. Dylan's in trouble. He's facing some obscenity charges because, well, he said, no, I'm not going to remove a bumper sticker that proclaims his love for a very specific sexual act. I watched the TV show Brockmire with Hank Azaria about a baseball broadcaster.
Okay.
He also on the show loves that particular act.
Okay, does he have a bumper sticker that says it in plain letters?
Oh my gosh, he might as well. He really should, because he sometimes gets in trouble on first dates where people go, dude, you can't immediately go to that sexual act on the first date. He goes, hey, I love what I love. I'm going to do what I do. I'm Brockmire, baby.
Wow. Dude, I saw the picture. I'm thinking bumper sticker, like maybe like, a 4x4 inch bumper sticker in the corner of your bumper.
Yeah.
And it's oddly enough, he's a fan of certain things. I guess that would be kind of like the bumper of a body.
He likes the rear bumper.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this is giant letters on the back of his car's window.
Yeah. He basically says, I eat, and then he tells you what he eats. That would be a certain
asparagus.
Thing. Asparagus, that's it. Yeah, I eat asparagus. Yes, that's what he eats.
Don't we all love that?
Yeah, we sure do. Cop told Dylan the sticker was a violation of a law that prohibits obscene material on vehicles. Dylan told the cop it was his First Amendment right to have the sticker in his window and let everybody know this is what I enjoy. Asparagus.
I mean, not all heroes wear capes, BJ.
You're right, dude. Plus, I have a picture of this guy, and he looks like the creepiest guy.
Yeah.
He's got that look.
I mean,
he does.
He looks like he likes to eat a lot of things.
Yeah, it's a good point. You're right.
In addition to asparagus.
Yeah, that's right. He hasn't said no to a buffet, that's for sure. So the cop gave Dylan the option to censor the sticker by removing a letter, but Dylan refused.
He could put the money signs.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah, I mean, the cop let him, put the money signs you're in.
Or an asterisk. He loves to eat asterisks.
Yeah, that's perfect. That actually would be perfect to describe exactly. Yeah, just put I love to eat and put an asterisk, and I think that pretty much says it all. So because he was an idiot, he was arrested for possession of obscene material. He also was arrested for resisting arrest without violence. Oh, I didn't know you could resist arrest without violence.
Yeah,
I will not go in.
I guess that's just something he says I'm not, and by saying I'm not going to do what you're telling me to do.
Here's a local news station in West Palm Beach trying to report on this story, and of course they have to try to get across exactly what his bumper sticker said.
A Florida man who was arrested after police told him to take down an obscene sticker plans to fight the charges. Dylan Webb had the sticker on his truck. It crudely described a sexual appetite. Webb says the police officer violated his rights to free speech. He was charged with violating Florida's obscene law.
It crudely described a sexual appetite. Okay.
Nice work.
Yeah. Because, I mean, obviously the appetite, when you're hungry, you tend to eat. So she used appetite.
She's lucky that she didn't have someone working the teleprompter that, maybe was deciding this is going to be my last day on the job and changed it. Could you imagine if Ron Burgundy'd something like that?
Oh, my God.
That would have been the greatest news report ever.
Oh, that would have been. Damn, dude. Wow. I don't know what to say about that guy.
Well, I mean, good for him for letting everyone know what he's into.
Yeah.
I mean, do you pick somebody up on a date with that on the back of your car?
Yeah. Again, and here's the thing. I haven't been on a date forever, but I know in the show Brockmire, that's not something that people want at the beginning of a situation. Mm-hmm. And he was like, why can't I go there if everybody's having a good time? And it's like, no, for some reason it's just not considered. There's certain things you can do even if you're having a one night stand. Apparently that's not one of them.
Oh, I didn't know the rules.
At least according to this one woman on Brockmire. It's all anecdotal. It's all a TV show, but I don't know. I've really never.
Well, we all live life differently. That's something that I'll never have the bumper sticker for.
No, you won't. No. As a matter of fact, also you'll never go to Hershey, Pennsylvania. You won't have that bumper sticker either.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to skip past the brown belt.
Yeah.
In karate.
Can I just say, though, if you're going to have bumper stickers on your car, can it not be have your kid, when they do the kid bumper stickers, hey, this is our stick figure family.
Why do people get so upset at those?
I don't mind those, but then they had a really dirty bumper sticker next to it.
Oh, with the boning stick figures?
No, it was a really sexy chick, and it says, if you're going to ride my ass, you might as well pull my hair. And I'm like, but your kids are right next to this bumper sticker. And that made me, that weirded me out.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, have one or the other. That's all I'm saying.
It's like the Facebook messages I get from people that are really disgusting sometimes, and then it's got their baby, their little kid is their icon, and it's like their avatar. It's like, no, dude, you can't be sending me these videos with the little baby avatar looking at me as well.
These are just well-rounded people.
Yeah. I keep telling this one dude that sends me stuff, and he apologizes every time, and I'm going, but he still keeps the same avatar. And I go, dude, can't you? I know you love your little baby, but can you maybe just put it on your phone and change your avatar to something else if you're going to send me videos of people getting railed?
Somebody's saying that apparently there's a lot of people. There's a car in Burien that has the same sticker on the back window as well, and there's been a few other spottings.
Really?
That's pretty funny.
Here's the thing. I get we have free speech. Because I sometimes see T-shirts with the F word on it, and even if it's for something that you think is important, whether it's political or you don't like cancer, and who does, but we live in a society where we have children, people have children in public, and we agree that, some of this stuff we just shouldn't let kids see. So why do you got to be that guy?
The funny thing is, I was thinking, we actually had this conversation on the Megacast yesterday. We were talking about this story, and because someone's saying, oh, what about the kids with that sticker? But most kids, are they even paying attention to that?
I agree. I wish parents would realize it's not that big of a deal, but I'm also a guy that lives in a society.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it's funny how we always use the kids as the reason why we shouldn't do things.
I know.
When it's like, I don't even think kids are paying attention to half of the crap people are freaking out about.
They don't care.
If not, it could even be like 80% of the stuff that people like. I'm sure a kid would see that bumper sticker and didn't even put any thought into that.
Yeah, and if the kid says anything, because people hate to have uncomfortable conversations with their kids.
Right.
Which you're going to have it someday. That's your job as a parent, is to get your kid ready for the world. So you shouldn't be upset if all of a sudden something comes up about like anatomy or whatever. And kids, you can easily get them off the track going, oh yeah, that's a thing. Hey, would you like a Happy Meal? They're immediately going to go, yeah. And
absolutely.
they don't care.
Yeah.
But we do. We're idiots about that stuff.
I mean, like my dad. Just be like, hey, don't ask these silly questions.
Yeah, those are the days where you could
shut up. I'm driving.
Yeah, leave me alone. Talk to your mother.
I'm trying to focus on the road.
Yeah, you just knew. And you knew as a kid, like, okay, I guess this is a thing I'm going to have to find out on my own.
Yeah.
And that's what we did, didn't we? We went and asked our friends, hey, saw this bumper sticker. What's this I eat asparagus? Do you know what that's about?
Well, and then you find out, and then it depends on how you react to it and what you think of those things.
Or sometimes you get the wrong answer because you're asking kids, and there's always that one kid that wants to make you believe they know more than they do. And then for your life, you go through thinking it's not that what it is. And it's great when you finally get that moment with your friends and you're like a teenager and, hey, yeah, I do that. And they go, you do? Well, yeah, because I was told it meant this. And it's like, no, it doesn't mean that.
Yeah, that was me with what your name is there, BJ.
Oh yeah, you didn't know what that was originally?
I honestly thought it involved like lollipops and things like that.
See, I love that moment.
And so when one of my buddies explained to me what that was, I was like, oh, that's nothing like I thought. I'm glad I wasn't going around demanding one of those.
Dude, I had to...
Mom!
I had to coach my buddy through it because this is the late 70s, and he was like, look, dude, I got this holy grail of a thing, and I don't know what the big deal is. Mm-hmm. And I go, he told me he got that thing done that you were talking about. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, dude, I at the time I go, dude, that's never happened for me. Congratulations, because in the 70s, it was rare. It was rare that anybody would even talk about it, let alone that you were lucky enough there was someone that was willing to actually like say, let's give it a try. Mm-hmm. But at least I knew what it was. And so he said, yeah, it didn't do a thing for me. It was, if anything, it was kind of drafty. And it was because she literally was doing what the terminology said. And that's how naive we were. Because we had no videos. There was nothing back in the 70s. So, yes, that literally was happening to this. So I was so happy for him until he described. I thought there was something wrong with him. But then he says, oh, yeah, it was so drafty. And it kind of, he goes, I don't know if you know, but when it gets cold, it doesn't really make you want to stay, like, ready for the party. And I'm like, oh, she was doing that. No, that's not what she's supposed to be doing.
She was being very literal.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable if you didn't have...
Nobody knew.
You didn't have things to work with to be able to be like, hey, here's an illustration or here's a video that tells you how to do this properly.
Yeah. So I proceeded to tell him, here's what she's supposed to be doing. And then when he went back and said, hey, listen, I like that you're doing this, but here's how it's supposed to be done. She just said, I'm not doing that. No, that's not happening.
Right. That's disgusting.
Yeah. What are you doing? No, I mean, I don't want any part of that situation.
Game over.
Yeah. Game over.
No, it's definitely a lot more extreme than what she was doing.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
Right.
But he thought and she thought they were both like, she must have thought, I'm the most amazing girlfriend ever because I'm doing this thing. And it's like, because nobody knew. No, that's not what no.
And he's probably thinking, like, oh, everyone talks so highly of this.
I know.
Why is this awesome?
When I told him, I go,
sweater on it.
You're the luckiest man in the world. And he's like, no, you don't understand. I gotta go get like a jacket.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like, oh yeah. See those times. See you Danny,
innocence.
Vicky, you guys will never know anything like that.
Thank God.
What kind of naive?
Right?
I mean, there was
You're
a few-
missing out.
I'm not missing out.
There were a few things I didn't really understand because I grew up very, conservative Catholic family. So I knew about that act that you were talking about, but I didn't know that there was an equivalent for females.
Oh, you didn't know that could happen?
I didn't know that was a thing until I had a boyfriend and it happened. I'm like, what is this? What are you doing?
Okay,
good for
fair.
you.
At that point, I feel like because
I was
we grew
15,
up pre-internet and like where you be like there was no free.
Oh, and 15, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, dial-up took a minute.
I thought there was a
15
literal
years.
meeting of that as well.
Yeah.
Like I thought you were actually supposed to
take
a bite.
Oh, boy. Take a bite out of crime?
Until my friends told me like,
oh, no, McGruff.
No.
Wow.
Right.
McGruff, that is.
I never did that. I'm
that
let
had
me clarify. I never did that.
That
I
had
think
to
we're
end
that
badly.
last generation cut off of not knowing stuff like that. I think we're the very last people.
Oh, yeah. Now everybody knows everything.
If you did.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
especially if it was like high school time, word would spread.
Yeah,
People would think you're a serial killer.
Yeah, if you
like,
Mike
there's
Tyson,
Jeffrey Dahmer over here.
Yeah, seriously. It's like, damn, dude. Yeah, you probably get arrested.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Luckily, that happened like in 7th grade when I learned what it actually meant, and I was like, okay, well, that was not what I thought it meant.
bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they did us a disservice by really coming up with phrases that did not describe what needed to happen.
Right.
Yes.
That's the thing. Both phrases really don't help if you don't know anything. And I remember being in Danny's position too, where except I was there and I at least talked to people, but it still wasn't working. I remember there was a woman and we both were saying, all right, let's try this situation. Steve, you're one of your favorite numerals.
Okay.
And we both were just, again, this was in the 70s, and we're both like, I don't understand what the hell's. We both looked at each other like, do we know what we're doing?
It wasn't the 70s, but a year before the start of the 70s.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. I would have been 9, and that would have been weird. But thank you, Steve. I wish I could help you out with that year, but I unfortunately wouldn't. Yeah.
So it was drafty. This is the favorite thing I've ever heard on the radio.
Yeah. Poor guy. All right, yesterday, Steve, he did get this one wrong.
The Chrome internet browser was created by what company?
Microsoft.
No.
Oh. Firefox.
No.
Windows.
No.
It is amazing. I mean, we've been using Chrome for how long and keep forgetting it's a great creation of Google.
I know. I got beat up on the text line yesterday. Google Chrome, Steve.
Yeah, sorry about that. Well, see, you have a shot at beating Steve. You never know when he's going to brain fart. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Migs at 8:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How do I figure out who my creditors are?
People a lot of times have had a long time of not having good credit and having collections, and so they're concerned that you may be concerned that you won't be able to find all your creditors if you file bankruptcy. How will I know which collection agency has my credit card bill from 10 years ago now? And that's something that's hard to keep track of because credit collection agencies transfer your debts all over the place. But we will pull all your credit bureaus, and by getting all 3 of your credit bureaus, we'll be able to tell who has your credit and debt now, which collection agencies have had it in the past, and we'll make sure that we file all your creditors when we file your bankruptcy so that nothing slips through the cracks.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.